I genuinely believe that the world would be a better place if everyone had access to this kind of hypnosis.
And we have an excellent show today. Jordan is a very interesting case. He is a guy who did a session with me and then became a hypnotherapist. I actually have over half a dozen of my clients took professional hypnotherapist training. But first, I wanted Jordan for you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about it yourself and how you found out about hypnosis, how it helped you, why you became a hypnotherapist. We'll just start with you introducing yourself and how you found hypnosis.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on the show, Ryan. My name is Jordan Kurtz. I discovered hypnosis through John MLD's. It was called Body Language Mastery at the time, but he calls
Modern
it
Life Dating.
Yep. And so you were giving a presentation on hypnosis. You probably gave a couple that I saw, and it was funny because after the end of session, after end of the presentation, I was kind of like, I felt something. I was like, something he's talking about seems to be resonating. I don't know what it is, but
kind of just rang true or something, huh?
Something seems kind of off with how I'm feeling internally, and it took a little bit of digging, but I just kind of kept noticing there's something wrong, and I didn't really know what it was. And, eventually I scheduled a timed session to meet with you, and eventually we started unpacking all of these things, and I kind of discovered that I felt almost there was this shame element, this toxic shame element for even trying to change myself. And more specifically than that, toxic shame for even feeling shame in the first place. And that's one of the things that you helped me kind of unpack in our first session was
Is it maybe shame for maybe thinking you had weakness? Oh, I can't even have weakness of any type. I can't be a pussy. I gotta be a.
It wasn't so much weakness. It was like I wasn't a good person, or that trying to do certain things that I wanted to do was wrong. And the only way I was kind of in my head validating that I had done the right thing was by my accomplishments. I was valedictorian of my high school. I was president of all these clubs and robotics and tennis captain, all these things. But I was using that external validation to try and cover up this lack of internal validation. That's such a toxic cycle because it's never ending. You'll never fill that toxic shame void. Right. And you kind of become become pretty afraid in a certain way. You become kind of nervous, kind of to screw up in certain ways or to deviate too far outside of what I suppose other people around me thought was normal or right.
Kind of keeps you from becoming free in a point.
Right. And you're trapped in your own cage in a certain way. Yeah. And so that's the biggest change before and after our session is I didn't feel like that anymore. I was able to recognize those poor mental models in my head and basically completely change my life. And so
that was one session. And how long did those effects last?
I mean, those effects were permanent. I mean, because I then felt like it was okay to actually change myself and move in the directions that were mattered to me. I mean, it wasn't like I was struggling to succeed to begin with, but it was this feeling like if I wanted to deviate and do something else that I hadn't already been doing, I was allowed to do that.
Cool. Okay, my man. So, and then what made you decide to you took professional hypnotherapist training. You now have clients of your own who you're helping out. And I want to hear about your experience actually doing that for others. But what made you want to get into this?
Really, it was just noticing the effect it had on me. And then as I studied it more, I noticed that it just seemed like something that everyone really needs. I mean, I 100%
Oh yeah, man.
believe.
A lot of people are struggling, man.
I believe that I genuinely believe that the world would be a better place if everyone had access to this kind of hypnosis.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that we would like change the world. I mean, that's kind of my mission.
That's
So
my
I
goal,
want to
man.
change the world with this stuff. And
I quit my $190,000 a year job. It's gone. I'm doing this now. You know,
yeah,
that's saying something. You know, you paid up a few $1,000s to get pro training. Now you're doing it. That's saying something, man.
Yep.
And you know, let's be fair. I didn't cure all your stuff with one session, but it was a profound enough permanent change to put you on this path and do all this stuff. So that's great. That makes me feel good.
So that really
how powerful do you consider this methodology?
I don't think there's anything more powerful. It's just in terms of just pure effectiveness and it's so fast and so permanent.
So what's been your experience doing hypnosis for your clients? How's that been?
Well, I just like the idea that I can just talk to someone and they feel better 2 hours later. Like
I know, man.
Like it's not
better, right?
Yeah, and it's not, and it also seems like it also seems like they do a lot of the work on themselves. I mean, I give them prompts to help them through the session, but they're ultimately the ones, clearing their own traumas and similar beliefs. I can prompt them to do those things, but it's like, if you're a dentist, you actually have to go in and physically work on somebody's teeth or something like that.
Yeah, we're just a guide. We show them how to heal themselves. They do the work.
Right. And that's what I think is really neat, because inherently it's tailored to each individual, because they literally do the things that they need to do in order to get over it. Right. And I think that that's so brilliant, as opposed to just, just, I don't know, using one tool for everything. It's like they can make it their own.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, now your clients are getting big results, and thank you so much for being on the show. So